My name is Ethan Carter, and I'm 18 years old. I find myself standing at the beginning of a story I never imagined sharing. This isn't a simple tale. Far from it. It's raw, tangled, and heavy with emotions I'm still trying to understand. I'm opening up because this story isn't just about me. It's about how love, family, and decisions can twist in unexpected ways, changing everything you thought you knew about yourself. This narrative touches on sensitive subjects: infidelity, blurred boundaries, complicated family ties. If these topics are difficult for you, please take care as you read. My hope is that by telling my truth, someone else might feel less alone in their own struggles. So, let's go back to the beginning, to a time when life felt simpler, before the lines between right and wrong blurred. I grew up in a small town in Ohio. My mom, Lauren Brooks, was everything to me. She was 38, a single mother with warm hazel eyes and a laugh that could light up any room. Since I was a baby, she raised me alone, pouring all her energy into making sure I felt loved and safe. We weren't just mother and son. We were best friends, partners in crime, and confidants. We spent countless hours watching old movies, quoting lines back and forth, laughing until our sides ached. Lauren was my sanctuary, the one person who made me feel like I belonged in a world where I often felt like an outsider. I was like most kids. I didn't have a wide circle of friends, and honestly, I was okay with that. Home was enough, as long as she was there. Our closeness wasn't typical, though I didn't realize it at the time. I shared her bed until I was well into my teenage years. It felt normal to me. Every night, she'd tuck me in, her gentle voice soothing me as we talk about everything: school, dreams, fears. Even when I got older, after nightmares, I'd crawl into her bed, and she'd hold me until the world felt right again. She'd kiss me on the lips, not in a strange way, but like the quick, loving pecks you see in old family photographs. She hugged me tight, towels in my hair, and told me she loved me every day. To me, it was just pure, simple love. Lauren was open with me in ways most moms weren't. She changed clothes around me without hesitation, walking around in a t-shirt and underwear as if it were nothing strange. She was just Lauren, my mom, my everything. But as I reached my mid-teens, something started to shift. I began noticing things I hadn't before: the way her hair cascaded over her shoulder when she laughed, the curve of her smile, the sparkle in her eyes when she looked at me. These thoughts frightened me, and I tried to shove them down, telling myself they meant nothing. But they lingered like a shadow. One afternoon, I came home from school to find her in the kitchen, stirring a pot of pasta. She wore a loose tank top and shorts, her hair tied up in a messy bun. She seemed different, not just my mom, but a woman vibrant and alive. My heart raced, and a sharp pang of guilt hit me so hard I turned away, pretending to grab a snack. I didn't understand what was happening inside me, but I knew it wasn't right. Then came the moment that changed everything. It was a hot summer day. I needed my toothbrush, so without thinking, I pushed open the bathroom door and froze. Lauren was stepping out of the shower, completely naked, a towel in her hand but not yet wrapped around her. Time seemed to stop. For the first time, I truly saw her, not just my mom, but a woman. My heart pounded, my face burned, and my mind went blank. I should have looked away, but I didn't. I just stood there, staring until she noticed me. "Ethan!" she gasped, startled but not angry, quickly covering herself. She laughed softly and said, "Next time, knock. Okay, kiddo?" I mumbled an apology and fled, my heart hammering so hard I thought it would burst. That image burned into my memory, and no matter how much I tried, I couldn't erase it. Worse, it stirred something dark inside me: confusion, guilt, and feelings I couldn't name, feelings forbidden. After that, I couldn't look at her the same way. I caught myself staring when she wasn't looking, tracing the way she moved with my eyes. I heard her laugh with her boyfriend, Caleb Turner, and felt a jealous twist in my chest that scared me. Caleb was in his early 40s, charming on the surface but distant underneath. He said all the right things but never followed through. Lauren deserved better. I hated how he made her feel lonely even when he was around. My feelings grew more tangled and intense. I started avoiding her, locking myself in my room, or hanging out with my best friend, Jasper Lee. Jasper was 18, loyal, and reckless, the only person who truly understood me. We'd spend hours playing video games or sneaking beers by the creek. But even with him, I couldn't share what was tearing me up inside. How do you tell your best friend you're having feelings for your own mom? So I buried it, hoping the feelings would fade. They didn't. The guilt was suffocating, but so was the temptation. One night, lying in bed, my mind drifted to her. Before I knew it, I was touching myself, her image vivid in my thoughts. The shame crashed over me like a tidal wave afterward, but the cycle repeated. Guilt, a promise to stop, then stronger, darker thoughts. I felt like I was losing control, trapped in a spiral I couldn't escape. Then came the night that shattered everything. It was a Friday. Lauren and I were on the couch watching a cheesy romantic comedy. She leaned against me, her head resting on my shoulder, her warmth and the scent of lavender shampoo overwhelming my senses. I tried to focus on the screen, but my mind raced. When the movie ended, she stretched and yawned. I'm heading to bed. You coming? She asked casually. I nodded, though every instinct screamed to stay away. I didn't trust myself, but I couldn't say no. In her room, she changed into her usual sleepwear, a t-shirt and underwear, completely at ease. I looked away, my heart pounding as we climbed into bed, darkness enveloping us. I lay there, tense, listening to her soft breathing beside me. I don't know what came over me, maybe the silence, the closeness, or the weight of everything I've been holding back. But I reached out. My fingers brushed her arm. She didn't move, so I kept going. My hand trembled as it traced her back, then her waist. My pulse thundered in my ears. I knew I should stop, but I couldn't. I pressed closer, my body against hers, her warmth pulling me deeper into a place I couldn't escape. I slid my hand under her shirt, touching her skin, then higher, until I reached her breast. She stirred slightly, a quiet moan escaping her lips, and I froze, bracing myself for her to pull away. But instead, she turned to face me, her eyes half-lidded with sleep. "Ethan," she whispered softly, her voice heavy with exhaustion. I was scared, but I couldn't stop. I whispered back, voice trembling, "It's all right, Mom." She looked at me, searching my face. Then, to my surprise, she reached out and gently touched my cheek. "It's still early," she murmured. "I've got work soon." I started to pull away, but she grasped my arm gently. "No," she said quietly. "It's fine. Keep going." Those words broke down every wall I'd built. I leaned closer, pressing a soft kiss to her lips, then deeper, and she responded, her hands threading through my hair. It felt like a floodgate had opened, all the forbidden feelings rushing out. That night, we crossed a boundary neither of us could ever undo. The next morning, I woke feeling crushed, like I'd been run over. My head spun, stomach twisted, and the weight of what we'd done crushed me. Lauren was already up, getting ready for the day. She gave me a quick smile, wished me a good day, acting as if nothing had changed. But everything had. I couldn't erase the image of how she'd looked at me, the way she'd whispered those words. Guilt tore at me, but so did desire, and I had no idea how to make peace with either. We never spoke about it. Not that day. Not ever. It became this unspoken agreement to pretend it hadn't happened. But pretending didn't erase the truth. I retreated, locking myself away in my room or escaping with Jasper. But every time our eyes met, the tension was there, a silent current running between us. Lauren shifted too. She grew quieter, more distant, especially around Caleb. Their once easy rapport strained, and she pulled away when he reached out, making excuses to avoid him. I saw the cracks forming, and I knew I was the cause. Caleb noticed too, his frustration growing. One night, I overheard them arguing in the living room. "What's going on with you, Lauren?" Caleb demanded, voice tight. "You've been shutting me out for weeks. What's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong," she said, but her voice trembled. "I'm just exhausted." "Exhausted?" Caleb scoffed. "This isn't exhaustion. You're hiding something." "What is it?" The argument escalated, and I couldn't listen any longer. My heart pounded, knowing this was my doing. Jasper started noticing, too. One afternoon, while we were gaming at his place, he paused and looked at me. "Man, what's going on with you?" he asked, eyes narrowed. "You're zoning out, shutting everyone out." "Talk to me." I wanted to tell him, but the words stuck in my throat. "Just family stuff," I muttered. He didn't buy it, but didn't press. "I'm here if you need me, dude." I nodded, but the truth was too heavy. I felt like I was drowning, crushed by guilt and fear. Then came the breaking point. Caleb's suspicions boiled over. One night, their argument exploded. I was in my room when I heard his voice, sharp, angry. "I'm not stupid, Lauren. Something's going on. I deserve to know." Lauren's voice cracked. "I can't keep pretending it's all okay when it's not." "What do you mean?" Caleb pressed. There was a long pause, then a barely audible whisper from her. "It's Ethan. Something happened, and I don't know how to fix it." My heart stopped. Hearing it out loud made it real in a way I wasn't ready for. Caleb's voice went cold. "Are you saying what I think you're saying?" Lauren didn't answer, but her silence said enough. I couldn't stay there any longer. I grabbed my jacket and stepped outside, wandering aimlessly for hours, my mind swirling with anxiety and regret. When I finally returned home, the house was silent. Caleb was nowhere to be found, and Lauren sat alone on the couch, her eyes swollen and red from crying. Our eyes met, and for a moment we simply held each other's gaze. "I'm sorry," I managed to say, my voice breaking with emotion. She stood up and pulled me into a tight embrace. "I'm sorry, too," she whispered. We clung to one another, tears flowing freely. But deep down, I knew things could never go back to how they were. The truth was out in the open, and there was no turning back. In the days that followed, everything fell apart. Caleb and Lauren ended their relationship, painful but necessary. Lauren and I began therapy, initially seeing counselors separately, then attending sessions together. It was difficult, unraveling what had happened and understanding why. Our therapist helped us recognize that while our bond was founded on love, it had crossed into unhealthy territory by blurring essential boundaries. She explained the importance of consent in healthy relationships, emphasizing how critical clear sexual boundaries are, especially within families. She said, "Sometimes emotional closeness can be mistaken for sexual attraction, but acting on those feelings in inappropriate relationships causes serious damage. Consent means both parties are fully informed, equal in power, and free to say no without fear. Anything less than that is unacceptable." Those words hit me hard. They forced me to face how our actions, even in a moment of shared weakness, violated sacred lines that should never have been crossed. Therapy also introduced me to the concept of grooming, not deliberate in our situation, but how ongoing physical closeness without boundaries can create confusion. I learned that sexual education isn't only about the biological facts. It's about understanding emotions, power imbalances, and respect. I wish I'd understood these things sooner, but I'm thankful to be learning them now. Lauren and I are slowly rebuilding our relationship, not as mother and son the way we used to be, but as two individuals who care deeply and want to heal. It's messy and slow, but worth the effort. I'm still trying to figure out who I am. I've gone back to school and leaned heavily on Jasper, who has been a solid support even without knowing the full story. I'm working on forgiving myself and believing that I am more than my mistakes. This is an easy story to tell, but it's important. It serves as a reminder that love can be complicated, boundaries matter, and everyone makes decisions they regret. But it also shows that growth is possible. If you're facing similar struggles, please don't suffer in silence. Reach out to a trusted friend, a counselor, or a hotline. You are not alone, and there is always hope. If this story touched you, consider subscribing to Broken Vows, where we share raw, real stories about love, family, and redemption every week. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done in my place? Your support means everything to this channel, and I'd be grateful to have you with us. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.